Clippers, Suns, Bucks, Pacers. We've got a ton of NBA action, a couple of NHL games. We're going to have a sneaky play of the day in golf. That is right. Golf starts this week. You know that is right up my alley. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got your stat of the day covered. And it is time for the Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame nominee. We're going to hockey. We're going to a record that I bet a lot of you have never heard of. The reason I say that is I've never heard of it until Steve sent it to me. So we're going to break that down. We got a great show for everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Road to Millions. Positive vibes from the audience. I haven't done a show in a couple days, so let's get things started with 2024. Give us a like and leave us a comment. Tell us what you're looking forward to in 2024. Tell us how your 2023 went. On Friday, I'm going to be doing the 2023 review, and we're going to look ahead to 2024. We got some expectations and some resolutions and things that we're going to work on, but always keeping it positive on the Road to Millions. So appreciate all you guys. Hit the like button, leave us a comment. We're just going to jump right into NBA. Steve and I were talking a little bit before we got on the show, and Steve, you were talking about how, we got a huge slate of NBA games tonight and how Hoops has been running really good for you. I have not done a whole lot with NBA. I just haven't had a great read. So let's talk NBA. Huge game, slate of games tonight. Of course, I'm interested in the Bucks and the Pacers. What's the first prop you want to talk about?
Actually, I'd like to talk about Colin Sexton. I'm looking at his points over tonight against the Pistons. It's sitting there at 17.5 right now, and he fell short last game in a blowout, but he's went over this number in 10 of his last 12. He had 19 in his lone game against Detroit this season. The Pistons, they allow the second most points to opposing point guards, over 27 per game. And he's playing at home. I feel like the Jazz are just so much more comfortable when they're playing at home compared to on the road. So a pretty low total for him here, and I'm looking at his over 17.5 points.
Like it. I wanted to look at my Pacers and the Bucks. We're talking kind of a sneaky little rivalry that's brewing here in the Eastern Conference. And you were saying this is it for the series for them unless they meet in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, this is the fifth and final meeting. Pacers lead the season series 3-1. Bucks only victory came at home, and that was the game after the in-season tournament, after the Pacers had knocked them out of the in-season tournament. And they just played a couple of games ago, and the Pacers knocked them off in Milwaukee. So I think the Bucks tonight, they're going to play with a little bit of pride here. They don't want to lose the season. They're going to lose the season series no matter what, but I don't think they want to drop it 4-1.
So I had said to you, I was like, I saw Giannis's point total just shot up, and I was the one that told everyone a few games ago. I was like, we don't have anybody to guard Giannis one-on-one. And sure enough, that was the game he scored like 60. I saw the point go up last game, and my initial thought was that's too high. Like, the Pacers are not going to sit there and just let him get to 50. And sure enough, he went way under, but his assists went through the roof. And that's what we see with Giannis. It's like he kind of dominates one or the other. He's either in scoring mode or a little bit passing mode, right?
Yeah, I think he had, 11 assists in that last game, and that was – he had a lot of low numbers for assist numbers in the games prior against Indiana, but I think the Pacers might have figured something out here because he was even quoted as saying that he didn't even feel like he posted up one. He felt like he could never post up whatsoever in the game in the last game against them. They were doubling him up so much, and they were just determined to force him to pass it and not let him beat them at the rim.
Look at these point totals, man. It's gone over one time in what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Almost 20 games.
Yeah.
Now, the one game was against the Pacers with that 64 burger just staring you in the face. But it's such a big total. You know how many things have to go right for a guy to get to 38 points? So
Yeah, and we've seen this recently. I mean, a long time ago to see a player props total sitting at 37.5, it's like unheard of, you know what I mean? But for 30, but he's obviously capable of it. But I'd caution though too, the total in this game is sitting very high at 257.5 or something like that. But they've only cleared the total once. They've only cleared that total once. They've actually they got to 266 once. Last game was 235. So, I wouldn't dare get to the window on an under when these two teams meet up. But with that such a big number, I can't I can't get there on either side.
Yeah, and when we look at Giannis's assists, yeah, we saw this last game against Pacers. He had 11 assists, blew through his total. So it's like I don't know. I don't know if they're. It just feels like it's correlated with Giannis. If he goes over his points, it feels like he's not getting a ton of assists. But if he isn't going over his point total, he's flying over his assist total. So interesting in the Milwaukee and the Bucks. But yeah, that is interesting about the unders though. It's just man, I know Pacers and the overs are the way to go, but boy, everything has to go right to get that huge total. So,
Yeah.
what are the games you want to talk about?
Another play I was looking at was actually Pascal Siakam on his under, and this is kind of going to be a gutsy play here because he's. I'm looking at his under for his PRA. Now, his past couple of games, he's crushed this total. He's had big games against, I think it was the Pistons and Cleveland or something. Yeah, Pistons and Cleveland is what it was. He's almost cleared this PRA total in points alone, admittedly. But this is This is a different matchup here. It's a tougher defensive matchup. He's went under this total in 6 of 7 career games against Jaren Jackson Jr. when they play head to head. And now we know that they've added Barrett and quickly to the team. And he actually had, despite him having that big scoring total last time out, he actually had his lowest usage in his last 10 games with them on the court. They're taking up some of the usage from him. And with him playing against a tougher defensive matchup, I'm actually looking at his under tonight as kind of a sneaky play there as well.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that Toronto team comes together. So, good stuff in the NBA. You got any other games you want to go over?
Yeah, not too many. There's a couple other looks I'm looking at, but those were my two like top ones that I'm looking at for today.
I'm interested to watch this Clippers and Phoenix game. My gut says the Clippers win if as long as they're at full strength. I don't trust this Phoenix team, man. I thought they were. I mean, to win a championship, you got to roll the dice. You got to take chances with your roster. So I applaud them for that. But I don't know, man. I don't see them gelling together. You don't know what you're going to get night in, night out with Beal, Durant, and Booker on the same time. And on the flip side, this Clippers team is gelled in ways that I did not expect. I mean, you could argue this is a top 3 team in the NBA right now. And now
Yeah,
is it
they're
going
right
to
up
last? Is the health going to last in the playoffs? Probably not. But right now in this situation, man, I would not be betting on the Suns. But it's going to be a great game to watch. I'm definitely roping off the evening to watch this game.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that one because I know Durant, I believe, is out tonight. And like you said, like they haven't been able to gel. Those 3 guys, their big 3 hasn't been able to get on the court at the same time, barely ever all year. Whereas the Clippers, outside of like taking days off for, maintenance or something like that, they've all been out there together and playing strong. And actually, it was kind of on the back burner, but I think you could play Nurkic over 28.5 PRA tonight. He's actually went over in 8 of 8 career games head to head with Zubac when he's played
Wow.
25 plus minutes. And without Durant on the court, I think the game should be a close game, so he should get to 25 minutes. And without Durant on the court, we know that leaves a lot of statistics on the table.
Love that. Love that. Great night to watch the NBA. So normally I go over NHL here. There's only 2 games tonight. I'm not really feeling much for them. We could take a little look about it. I guess I would just caution. Washington is on a back-to-back, and their game last night was a 4-3 game, and it was really interesting. They scored 4 goals right out of the gate, and it was a hard-fought game. They ended up, getting the win 4-3, but I'm not taking them tonight. And then Toronto versus Anaheim. I just don't trust the Maple Leafs, but I also don't trust Anaheim. So really not a whole lot going on in NHL. There's only one play that really stands out. I've got that up for a best bet at WagerTalk. We're on really, really nice in NHL. So a couple things, guys. We still have our annual special, Golf and Auto Racing. That went up yesterday. It's discounted to $2.99. All golf, all auto racing. You guys know this is my bread and butter. This is what brought me to WagerTalk. We've never had a losing season in either of those sports. So every year we combine them into one price. So grab that. And then if you're interested in a year's worth of all sports, we're taking $1,000 off. It's marked down to $999. Just use the promo code LANG50. and get you. I mean, we're plus 88 units for 2023. Really proud of that. Looking forward to another big year. So if you want just a huge discount on all sports, go ahead and grab that. Andy Lang at WagerTalk.com. Steve, what do you have up at Sports Memo?
So I actually have a 5% national championship play that'll be up, and I've cashed my last four 5% tickets. Two of those have been in college football. I've went 12-4 on the year, kept it low volume there. So really proud of that record. I would use there's no promo code necessary for this, but you can get a free week if you get a 30-day pass over at Sports Memo for only $239. Breaks down to $48 a week. It's a smoking deal. So I would check that out. And I'm running hot in hoops, 25-14 run, 15-8 all sports run. But you don't need a promo code for that. And I know they're running a similar deal over at WagerTalk.
Nice. All right, we're going to get to the sneaky play of the day, stat of the day, and the Sports Record Hall of Fame. Just real quick, Fantasy Golf League starts tomorrow. If you want to join and you haven't joined yet, just send me an email, bumprunsports@gmail.com. We'll get you signed up. We play at the Fantasy Golf website. So if you haven't joined yet and you want to, just hit me up in the comment section or email me, and we'll get you set up. Been doing it for a decade. It's just a lot of fun. So I will do the sneaky play of the day, and it is in golf. Steve, I'm going Jason Day over Wyndham Clark here. And here's what I like about this play is Wyndham Clark is vastly overrated. This guy won a major last year, and he was one of the top guys in FedEx Cup points. But you go look at his record. He had a 9-week period where he just played out of his mind. He won a couple tournaments. He had some good finishes, but some of those tournaments were pretty weak fields. And then he wins the U.S. Open, and it was a quirky course. And after he won, he had the hangover of winning a major, and he dipped back to normal. This is a guy that normally finishes around the top 20, top 30. And I think he's just vastly overrated. He was terrible down the stretch. And I think he's criminally overrated. He finished third in FedEx Cup points, but that's because the final tournament of the year, you get points based on how many points you had throughout the season. Well, the guy won a major and he won another tournament, so he started with this big lead over a lot of people. So overrated. Jason Day, a lot of personal and health struggles. I think those are behind him. And he's been very open about, some of his mental health when his mother passed away. And he had a really nice year last year. He's played here before. Wyndham Clark has not. And they played the last tournament either of these guys played was in the fall. Jason Day beat him by a few shots. So Wyndham Clark's going to be a fade for me to start the season. It's like, oh, he won the major, his breakout year. And it was like, he just got hot for a few weeks. I didn't see the consistency. So I'll take Jason Day over Wyndham Clark. That is on DraftKings. For your stat of the day, we're going back to the NBA. What is going on here?
So yeah, Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Royce O'Neal became the first trio to each have 6+ field goal attempts and 0 points each in their loss to the Pelicans. The Nets have been struggling on both sides of the ball, but I found that one pretty amusing. That just laying bricks. Now all three of these guys can't get one field goal with 6 attempts each, and the Nets got crushed by the Pelicans in that one.
That's almost a sports record, Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's never happened, but it never happened before. So it would be a candidate, right?
Tough to do. So shout out to Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Royce O'Neal. First trio to have 6+ field goals and 0 points. Yeah, I saw the final score of that game. Yikes. All right, real quick, we're gonna get to the sports record nominee, but I wanted to go over this real quick, guys. I've been working on trying to figure out best ways to get plays delivered to clients for this year. And I think I figured it out. I've been working on this myself. So if you're a long-term all-access player, you get a bunch of WagerTalk plays, here's what I've done. Just create a Gmail, something unique, like your name, WagerTalk@gmail.com. So if your name's John Smith, just create John Smith WagerTalk@gmail.com. I'll guarantee it's available. Make that email the one that gets plays delivered to you, so change it in your WagerTalk profile, or just email WagerTalk and ask them to change it. Make sure those emails go to your phone. You go into Gmail, you hit settings, and you go to notifications, and you just make it a unique ringtone. So I have set up a unique email that emails come directly to my phone, and it's got this weird ringtone that every time it goes off, I know I'm getting an email directly from WagerTalk that has plays attached to it. So I know like some people have been like, "Oh, I didn't know like plays were going to come out throughout the day." This is the best way. Your phone goes off and it's unique ring, and that way you know you're getting a play sent to you. So, and I got to be honest, it's almost like a little Christmas present. Like whenever I hear the ringtone, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder what that one is.
wonder
Yeah.
what that play is." Yeah. So, yeah, for those of you that want to get plays delivered right to you, that's a really good, unique way to do that. So, all right, Steve, let's get to it. Unbreakable sports record, Hall of Fame. I'll let you take the floor. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, so we're looking at Darryl Sittler had scored 10 points in one game back in 1976 with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And doing some digging on this one. So no one's gotten to 10, obviously, but no one's even gotten to 9. We've had the next closest was 8, and that happened 15 times. And amazingly, Mario Lemieux did it 3 times. Twice, it was the most ever. So he's done it 3 times out of those 15. Gretzky had 2. But Lemieux, amazingly, he did it twice in the 88 season and then again in 89. So in the span of 2 seasons, he had 3 8-point games. Gretzky, 83 and 84, so he had 2 in back-to-back seasons. And the most recent player was Sam Gagner with had 8 as well in 2012.
Interesting. I found a fun story about this. So this is Sittler. I mean, look, they're playing without helmets. Can you imagine
Yeah.
that now?
No.
There was a story that the sweater that he wore that night, he never found it. Like it was gone from that night, and like years later, like somebody was like, "Oh, I know where it is. It's actually in a warehouse in New Jersey." It had been auctioned off a couple times without him knowing. And
Wow.
he eventually got his sweater back that night after years. And someone's like, "Oh yeah, I know, yeah, it's sitting in the New Jersey warehouse. I know where that is. It's been auctioned off here and auctioned off there." So, interesting story on that one. So, okay, so we got to decide if this is unbreakable or not. So, in order to get to 11 points to break it, you have to be on a team that scores 11 goals in one game. 11 goals or more have been scored in 157 games in NHL history, but Steve, only one team in the salary cap era has done it. So once they put the salary cap in the mid-2000s, this is just not happening that often. So we have that going for it in terms of how difficult this is. I will also add that the San Jose Sharks gave up 10 goals in back-to-back
Wow.
games this season.
Oh my gosh.
So we've had a team get close to giving up goals, but here's the thing. In the first game against Vancouver, Quinn Hughes had the most points. He only had 5. And then they did it against the Penguins, and they had 3 guys get to 4 points. So in order for this record to be broken, you have to have a team give up at least 11 goals. Not only does the guy have to be on the ice for all 11 goals, he has to be a part of every single goal. He's got to either score it himself, he's either got to get an assist on it. So I don't know, man. This is a really interesting one. I'm amazed that there are 157 games that there has been 11 goals. But I go back and I look and I go, how often is this really going to happen with the salary cap era? What do you think?
Yeah, this one is a tough one for me too. I mean, I was looking at it as well. I think it was just a couple nights ago or last night, McDavid had 5. He had 5 in a game. But then you look at, what was it? Letang had 6 assists, right? And that was in one period. So that's what makes me feel like there might be a chance that someone could do it. I mean, if he can get 6 assists and just assists alone in one period, but then when you bring up the point that you got to have 11 goals and, like you said, be on the ice and be involved in all of those, whether it be an assist or scoring the goal yourself. Man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to decide what side of the fence I'm on here. I'm sitting on the fence on this one.
Yeah, so you're going to need a team that absolutely throws in the towel in a game. Like, I could see maybe towards the end of the year, maybe, like, if there's a team playing for nothing and, or I don't know if there's some big rivalry or some. I'm just trying to figure out how you get to 11. I mean, the San Jose Sharks are a historically bad defensive team, and by the way, they played much better like about a month ago, and now they're just back to getting their asses kicked a lot most of the
Yeah,
time again. So I mean, they're a historically bad team. They gave up 10 goals back to back, but they still didn't give up 11.
yeah,
So I watched that Washington game, and the Washington Penguins game last night. Dude, they scored. They scored just bang, 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 goal after goal after goal, and after 3 goals, they yanked the Penguins yanked the goalie, and then they caught up like 4-3. So with the salary cap era, I'm just wondering if a team can even get to 11 goals. Is this even possible?
I mean, the one thing I thought of too was that what about like venue? Like, I know the most recent Winter Classic was only 3-0, right? But haven't we seen some higher scoring games in those where sometimes when they have a certain venue where it's vulnerable for extra points to be scored, we've seen some high scoring ones as well. I
Yeah.
don't know though, but like you said, to have a team score 11 is just like jumps off the page. Never mind having the player. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one.
So I think if as long as the salary cap is I guess one of the other things is what if somebody was like trying to break a record or like going for it, but also don't you think in this era if like a team is up like 9-0 and they start trying to pour it on, doesn't the losing team go out and take out the guy that's trying to put in points? Like, like
Yeah,
I'm I'm struggling to find the situation where somebody gets there with so many different line changes that these guys make. These guys like at most are playing 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes is a lot. So
yeah,
how can you have a point like almost every other minute? And also when a team is up that big, why would they keep putting their players out there? I'm leaning towards this going in there because we've only seen one game with 11 goals in how many games? It's like since 2005, and I think the 2005 season is when they implemented the salary cap. So how many
yeah.
games we played in there? We've only had one goal with 11 games. I'm leaning towards it just because how many games are going to get to 11 goals in the next 100 years? A couple. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't think we see this broken, man. I'm leaning towards this going in. The more and more I think about it, and the more and more I dig, I don't see it.
I was on the fence too, but you bringing up the teams, only having what would you say 157 games in history, scoring teams scoring that many goals, and then only one since the salary cap. That makes me think that it goes in as well because it is true. I mean, the San Jose Sharks have been historically bad. In those 2 games, they only got to 10, even in back to back games. That's embarrassing. But
And
yeah,
and
I
and
think I think
and in those games, the top one was 5. You'd have to double that and then get one to break it. I don't think it can be done, man. I don't see how somebody gets 11 points because overtime is just. I mean, what if it's like game 10-10 goes to overtime? Like,
yeah,
so
because then
really
even in overtime,
overtime is there is no
it's only
overtime.
5 minutes.
You're not
It's
getting to
only
overtime in 10-10.
Oh yeah,
There's
good
not going
point.
to be
Yeah, yeah.
20 goals in a game. So,
There is no
um,
such thing as an overtime. That's a good point. That makes me really lean toward that. Yeah, I think he should go in. That's what we're seeing with a lot of these records. I feel like is that they were set back in a time when the sport was a lot different. The sport was
hmm
like things have changed obviously. So, but
I
this is an amazing one. 10 point. Also the fact too that no one's ever even gotten to 9. You had all these guys get to
yeah
8. You know what I mean? Lemieux those years, and he could only get to 8. I say
yeah
only, but
Lame.
Only 8. Yeah.
It's also not a record that I don't. It's also not one of those records that I think anyone like is out to break.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
like,
good
like,
point.
oh, he's got 6 points. Let's get him to 11 to break Daryl Stitler's like legendary record. I just don't see. I think it goes in, Steve.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I put it in as well. There was a quote from him too where they asked him if he thought it could ever be broken, and he kind of gave kind of a wishy-washy answer, kind of like I'm giving when I as far as putting him in or not. But he said it's going to take one heck of an effort, but I don't see it I don't see it happening. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't see it either. All right, it goes in.
put him in.
It's I don't know where you found this one, but I had never heard of this one. I never even thought to look at it. I was never curious about it, but when you sent that to me, I was like, oh, 10 points in one game. It's like 10 points in one game. How do you get 10 points in one NHL game?
Well, what got
So,
me thinking about it was the 6 assists by Letang in one period. And I was like, I wonder what the most points is for one game. So I didn't know, I wasn't sure of
yeah.
that. It's not one of those records that that it's like a household name,
Mm-mm.
But yeah, that's what got me thinking about it was the Letang getting the 6 assists in one period. I was like, I wonder what the most points were ever in a game. And it's Daryl Sittler, 1976, with the Maple Leafs.
Well, shout out to Daryl. He now holds 2 records, most NHL points in one game, and he is in the Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame. So, congratulations to him, and nice work finding that one. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us on the Road to Millions Friday. I'm very excited about Friday's show. It's going to be a little bit of a longer one because we'll go over some plays for the weekend, but then we'll go over the 2023 year in review, and most importantly, we'll go over some things for 2024, what we're looking for. The sports are always changing. We got to adapt and change as well. So we got some unique things that we're excited about and looking for. So we'll go over all that on Friday. So go grab Steve's plays at sportsmemo.com. All my plays are at WagerTalk.com. Cashed a nice little NHL play last night. That's an 8-2 run. We got another one up today, and golf is up as well. So good luck on your plays tonight. We'll see everyone tomorrow on the Road to Millions.
Good luck.